Thomas Grund is back at the place where it all began. He's been a social worker in the city of Jena for over 20 years. The NSU terrorists grew up here in Thüringen. The prefab high-rises might look welcoming enough these days. Everything's been renovated and the inhabitants are friendly, at least for the most part. Grund remembers that things looked very different here in the early 90s.
It used to be gray and dreary. Parts of it were unsecured, and there were mounds of earth all over the place. There were unfinished buildings and groups of young people hanging around on every corner.
Back then, there was no youth club in the neighborhood. Until the Winzer Club was formed. Grund helped found it. Böhnhard and Mundlos came here. The future NSU terrorists made no secret of their right-wing views, even then. Beate Zschäpe was another visitor. She was just a normal teenager who liked to flirt. But then she met Mundlos and Böhnhard and got involved with the far right. She soon stopped coming to the Winzer Club.
During 1992, she came less and less, until she stayed away completely. I know she was involved in that group in 1993 because she was involved in incidents in the city where people were attacked.
Zschäpe is now 38 and stands accused of committing several murders. As she stood before the court in Munich, she appeared self-assured and unmoved by the accusations, which are unprecedented in post-war German history. In the late 90s, Zschäpe went underground, along with Böhnhard and Mundlos. They're believed to have carried out 14 bank robberies and a bombing, as well as an arson attack. But above all, they're accused of killing 10 people, 9 of them because of their foreign roots. The trial in Munich has the task of shedding some light on the murders. It's become an international media event with major interest from Turkey, where many of the victims had family. For their relatives, the start of the trial was a daunting prospect. Semiya Simsek is the daughter of the NSU group's first victim. In spite of the media presence, she didn't shy away from confronting Beate Zschäpe and the other defendants. But then the trial was temporarily stopped by the defense lawyers, who directed a challenge of bias against the presiding judge. It was a disappointing first day for the relatives of the victims.
I found it very judicial. A lot of petitions were put forward and discussed, but for me it was extremely stressful. How did I find it? Of course it was uncomfortable. Sitting in a room with the accused for hours and watching them.
Yasemin Nart says this could have happened to anyone with foreign heritage. She's a German with Turkish roots. At the start of the trial, she's organized a vigil. The balloons and wreath are a memorial to the victims and a symbol against racism.
It could have affected any one of us. A relative could have been killed, or ourselves. Aside from that, we just want to make a stance against racism and show solidarity with the victims. We want to be here to show that we're still here in spite of everything. We're not afraid. And we'll fight them for the rest of our lives if we have to.
Back in Jena, Lothar König has been fighting right-wing extremism for many years. He's a priest who knew the terrorists in the 1990s. At the time, he was warned that the far-right's influence was spreading in Jena. But the authorities didn't know how to react and didn't take König seriously.
We constantly heard this accusation of nest fouling, being unpatriotic. It was often said very directly. A lot of people looked the other way and played it down. People were afraid for Jena's reputation, and economic interests also played a role. There were some real fears, and I maintain that those fears still exist today.
Und ich behaupte ja, solche Ängste gibt es auch heute noch.
Lothar König fears that the NSU trial won't bring about a change of thinking. Thomas Grund is also skeptical. He says personal involvement is important and works hard to make sure young people don't turn to the far right, either in Jena or anywhere else.